Let go of your excuses.
And they'll use the insight to excuse them from taking a leap.
Money's just not attracted to excuses.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. I believe in you, and this channel is designed to be a part of your daily success routine. So today we're going to learn one of the most common rules that successful people follow. Stop making excuses. Also, if you want to know what Gary Vee, Mel Robbins, Grant Cardone, and others have to say about building unstoppable confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you a morning video for free to help you build your confidence. The link to join is in the description below.
The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much.
I know that everybody's problem comes down to one pattern you're repeating that you can't see.
You have to go build self-confidence.
And this is my biggest point to everybody. This is why I don't allow complaining or dwelling for people that want to f with me, because no matter what, I'm gonna point to somebody who had the same exact thing. Oh, what? You had a crackhead father and your mom sexually abused you and you got stabbed? Cool, let me show you this kid who actually had that exact same thing and he won. Like, what we're talking about right now is the reason I win. I'm not worried about the little details. This is all macro, blueprint, strategy, mental strategy. No matter what we say right now, Pete, I'm gonna show you somebody who grew up with the same exact situation and had different outcomes. And so for me, everybody who's dwelling on their shortcoming, the bottom line is no matter where you start, everybody has paths to winning and losing. For me, the best move is to take control of your shit. No matter how f***ed up you are right now, get rid of loser friends and family, introduce yourself to positivity and winners, and watch how it plays out.
Too many of you are sitting around waiting to feel ready. You can still move forward when you're not ready. Too many of you are waiting to feel like you deserve to make 6 figures. It's about the action. Your mind, your history, your past, you will always have a million excuses not to do it, not to feel like it, not to believe in yourself. They're all The only thing that matters in your life and your business is the actions that you're taking. And the more consistently that you take action, the faster you will start to believe in yourself, because you will see proof that you are not the kind of person that sits around and feels unworthy, that you're not a victim that sits by and gets sucked into other people's stuff, that you're not that kind of person. So it won't make sense to believe it anymore, but it starts with action. I believe in all of you, and I believe in your ability to get it done. But it's going to be up to you. Who is the problem? Yeah. Who's the solution? That's right. Don't wait to feel like it. That is the biggest mistake you could possibly make. Remember that you're smart. Remember that you know what to do. And just get it done.
What was the greatest lesson your mom taught you growing up?
Honestly, the greatest lesson she ever taught me is a lesson that she doesn't know how much she taught me, because she wasn't much in the teaching mode. My dad took her soul. But what I did as a young kid is I observed everybody. I wasn't really smart in the books, but I was real smart when it came to life. And I was able to sit back and watch her mistakes. I was able to see how she struggled through life and how I don't want to struggle through life. And I was able to see, she never picked me up. The biggest thing she did for me, and this is honest to God truth, and she doesn't even know she did it. When I would bust my ass, when I would fail, when I was at the bottom of the sewer, she never picked me up. She never gave me that cookie and said, hey son, you know, it's gonna be okay. She didn't have time for that. And sometimes she gets upset when I talk about my past, because it paints her out to be not the best mom. If I had any kind of mom in that kind of environment, I would have never made it. Because she forced me, for whatever reason, she forced me to, you better figure this out, or you're gonna be a statistic.
Wow.
And this is something that she didn't sit down and tell me. I realized this. This is the world that is in front of me. And what most people do is they see this world and they look at it as an excuse to get out of it.
Yeah.
I started looking at it as this is the ultimate training ground for the rest of my life. I have all these valuable lessons, because if you look out in the world right now today, it's not a nice place. but I'm very prepared for it.
Yeah, you are.
I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for all the failure coming my way. I'm prepared for everything my way. And that's the biggest lesson that she taught me by not teaching me, by never saying it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, she told me the exact opposite. Life sucks.
So why do we make so many excuses? I think that we are like excuses making machines.
Like if I miss a deal, we do a lot of real estate deals. So if I miss a deal, I'm always going to, what did I do wrong in that deal? First response for me is, what did I do wrong in that deal that they didn't pick me? What did I do wrong that I didn't get that deal? What did we do wrong that we didn't hit our number there? Like I'm never saying.
It's not blaming somebody.
Well, I don't have control when I blame. I want control. So even if they are to blame, right? I want control. I'm not going to assign you blame. If you hit my car, I'm gonna say, what did I do wrong? What did I do that allowed you to hit my car? I did something. So even in the most dumb, like I ended up in a lawsuit where a guy basically found something, sued me for it. I didn't do anything to this dude. My immediate response was, what did I do to create that frivolous situation? He was a criminal, total criminal, sued me for $60 million. He just sued me because he thought he could get something from it. Yeah. But I did something. And the reason I want to assume that I want to be the cause point is because if I assume that position, even though I didn't really do anything, then I can control what I did. I can't control what another person does, but I can spend time and energy controlling what I do.
I've been evangelizing one particular message for 2 decades, and it's you can lead without a title. You know, the seduction of society is that you have to have formal power to make a difference, and that's just a lie the world has sold us. The reality is you can lead without a title, and really the difference or the defining trait of a leader is you shift from victimhood. See, victims love making excuses, and if you recite your excuses long enough, you actually think they're going to be true. I see it around the world, you know, people saying these things like, I don't have time to run, or I'm not good enough to be great at my work, or this would never work, or I don't live in the right country, or life is hard. And the more you recite those excuses, you think they're true. So let go of your excuses, start getting some results done, and over time, you're going to rise to your world class.
Talk just for a second, because this just blew my mind. Is your dad, they come from India, right?
Yes.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. And your dad, you're in the cab. You just get here. You're in the cab.
Just get here, yep.
And
my mom's already here.
Okay.
Established herself as a nurse. Okay. And well, my dad, it was easier for my mom to get her license here as a nurse practitioner than it was for my dad to get his license as a doctor, all right, an MD. And he wasn't able to get the license. We still came over. We're sitting in the cab, and he's counting the money, and the meter gets to, I forget what the number was, and my dad tells the cab driver, stop.
And you're a little boy, right?
We're a little boy.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old. He said, stop. And we're like, what's going on? And my dad goes, hey, listen, we're in a new country. I want you to enjoy the scenery. So we get out, we grab all the luggage. Excuse me, I get real emotional doing this.
That's awesome.
And we're walking down the street.
That's awesome, brother. You got it.
Yeah. We're walking down the street with his luggage, and he's showing us the different scenery and so forth. Never knew he didn't have any more money in his pocket.
Wow. Amazing.
But he got us here.
Got you there. That's so powerful. You imagine that little boy walking down that street turns out to be you. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
your dad sowing those seeds into you.
And there's moments like that that define you, as long as you remember them. They can define you both ways. You can look at it and say, you know what? You can use that as an excuse. My dad came to this country, he didn't have any money, he never gave me anything, he never did this, and people do that. Or you can look at it and say, he gave us everything.
Successful people don't make excuses. Successful people don't complain. If you look at whoever you want to look up to, look at the most successful people in the world in any industry, look at the top, and look at how much they complain. They don't complain. When you complain, when you blame something else, when it's the government's fault, or interest rates' fault, or the bad economy's fault, or your partner who screwed you over, or the customers who don't care, as long as you can blame somebody else, right? The education system, your parents, your friends, your upbringing, there's always somebody else to blame. And when you blame somebody else, when you're in that mindset, then you never grow. You're making things easy on yourself. It allows you to coast. It allows you to play life super safe because it's not your fault that you're not more successful. Of course, it's not your fault. That would be difficult. That would be hard. It's somebody else's fault. So you can just stay where you are because people are holding you back from accomplishing the thing that you want to accomplish. Where successful people take responsibility for where they are in life. And they say, I don't care about the government. I don't care who's president. I don't care about regulations that you have or things that you're holding me back on. I will still go out and get mine. And of course, there are other factors. Of course, the country you come from matters. Of course, the education you had and the connections you had growing up, of course it matters. But so what? You have to play the hand that you were dealt. You have these cards. You have to play those cards and you can have success. One of the things I love looking at, and this is why I do all these profiles of successful, famous entrepreneurs. There is always somebody who has done way more than you have done with way fewer resources than you already have. So no matter what terrible situation that you have, and I'm empathetic. Maybe you come from a broken home. Maybe you have a really severe disability that's physically holding you back from doing some of the things you want to do. You know, maybe there's a lot of pressure on you. Maybe you have some disease. Maybe you have zero money in your bank account. These are real pressures, and I'm empathetic to that. But so what? The longer you believe that those things are gonna hold you where you are, then they will. There are people who have worse conditions, less money, are in worse situations, and they came out of it and accomplished amazing things because they believed that they could. And if somebody looks like you has gone on and accomplished big things, then you can too. And it only happens when you accept responsibility for where you are in life.
There was another thing that you said that I thought was really powerful about how insights themselves are essentially inert. They don't do anything. What then do we do with an insight? How do we take a breakthrough moment and make sure that it's not just a breakthrough moment? Like, I guarantee people watching right now are having like 100 aha moments. For sure, that was definitely the case for me as I was researching you. And when you said that, I was like, and that's the danger, that you have the aha and then nothing.
Yeah, and it is a danger because then people will shrink back into mediocrity and they'll use the insight to excuse them from taking a leap. They'll say, yeah, you know, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. Yeah, my father was really overbearing. He was a perfectionist. That's why I am the way I am. You know, people, they come up with stuff to excuse themselves. The insight is actually giving them permission to stay limited. And it's an amazing idea because they'll say to you that they really want to get over their anxiety. But let's take your ex-husband, let's put him in a straitjacket, let's duct tape him and shoot him to the moon. Now what? I mean, what are you going to do now? You still have to make those changes. And so then when the person's enemy dies or something shifts in their life and that person's gone, they'll find another person to hate. This is just how we function as human beings. We just slide another reason to feel those emotions. So I think when people start to understand this, you know, I think knowledge is power, but knowledge about yourself is self-empowerment.
Point number 9, you're an expert at making excuses. Literally, everything that happens in your life, you got a great excuse for it. Everything. I couldn't show up, it was raining. I was sick, I had a flu. My dog was sick, my mom wasn't in a good mood. Such and such happened. I mean, you know, this is what happened. My leg, I was cramping, I had a hard workout. You don't understand, my favorite team is playing. Excuse galore for everything. If you have that, money is just not attracted to excuses. Just kind of how this thing works.
If I have a bunch of things that are important to me, then I'm going to make time for all of those things. And I don't think that it's a good excuse to say that, like, there's not enough time in the day, because there's 24 hours of it. So I think that if you have the drive to do all the things you want to do, then you definitely can. Like, I've had days where I go to school and then I have away games for volleyball and I leave from the volleyball game, get dressed in the car and go to a, like, event for something. and then go home and do homework and then wake up the next day and go to school. So I like have never really given myself the excuse that like I only have time for certain things, because I don't think, you know, you can do all the things you love if you want to. So yeah, just like plan your time well.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip from Zlatan Ibrahimovic on how to make no excuses that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Time to move from just watching another video to actually taking action in your life or your business. And if you're feeling bold, leave your answers in the comments below. Here we go. Question number 1. What excuses do you need to let go of? Number 2. How will you catch yourself the next time that excuse shows up? And number 3, who can hold you accountable to following through?
You described yourself on the pictures believing you were a lion. Is that right?
I am a lion.
You are a lion. Are there enough lions around you in this team?
Listen, I will be honest to myself. The table is not lying. I think the team is where it is because it is what it is. If we would be number 1, we would be number 1. Top 4 for me, it's last time I came second, I don't even remember that. Was in Milan.
AC Milan.
AC Milan. And
you didn't like that?
No.
You said it was something you weren't used to.
That was the first position of the last ones, so that I don't really like. And
you described that season as a failure.
It is a failure.
So this, whatever happens,
whatever comes after the first one is a failure.
So let me give you the one-word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
The most important word ever.
If you had to think of one word that's most important to you, or that sums you up, or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
If you want to know what's stopping you from achieving success, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Dr. Wayne Dyer has a famous phrase where it's not, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. It's like, I'll see it when I believe it.